Well, hey there, my WOW friends. Thanks for being here with me this week. Something a little different. Not quite a meditation practice, not quite an asana-based practice, but still just as nourishing, just as replenishing, just as grounding and clarifying and all those good things you get. And what we're going to need is 3 rubber bands. If you don't have rubber bands handy, then you could use something like tape about this wide, or you could do something like twist ties, perhaps string. I just don't want there to be a big, really lumpy tie, because then what you're going to do is grab a hand towel or a tea towel, something I prepared earlier, and you're going to roll up your towel, like a little sausage roll, like so. This is the point where I could sing, but I won't. To get to that. And then you're going to use your rubber bands or whatever else you've got to hand and secure the roll at both ends and in the middle. So you'll have a rubber band there, and a rubber band there. Okay? Go do that, and I'll meet you back here to get started. Okay, so we've got our roll, and what we're going to do is offer ourselves a bit of a sweet massage with the roll all along the back chain of the body. So all the fascial tissue there, everything that kind of works to hold us up and help move us through space, and start to get an effect of draining the lymph as well. So a really nice thing to do for yourself weekly is carving out a bit of space in your day, perhaps in your evening before you go to bed, to really unravel and unwind for a really sweet night's sleep. And the beauty of it is it doesn't cost a thing. You don't have to get in your car to go anywhere. So if you're in a position where having a regular massage isn't accessible to you, then this is a great option. So what we're going to do is, with the roll, we're going to kind of start to move it through key places down our back, and we're going to activate the draining and the release and the unraveling through a little bit of movement. So first I just want to show you what that movement's like without the roll. So you're going to come to lie down on whatever's comfortable. It could be your yoga mat or just some nice cushioning like your carpet. And you're going to have your feet far enough away from your hips that you don't have the effect of your quads activating. So you notice if your feet come really close, your quads have to work a little bit. If you have your feet too far, your belly muscles will start to have to activate. So you want to find a nice neutral place, what we call the active rest position, where your feet aren't too close or too far away, where it can just be this nice grounding of your femur bones down into your pelvis. It can be a nice arch in your lower back without overstraining. And then from there, give a little bit more weight into your feet really grounding into your mat or carpet. And then you're going to just start to move from your feet. You're going to press into your feet and invite a little bit of an organic jiggling. I know it looks kind of strange. Probably something you want to do by yourself, so no one's going to question what you're doing. And it might feel a bit unco or not that easy to start off with, because if you really try and think about it, and if you try and do it for a muscle, it'll kind of look like this. So what we want to do is just have a nice easy breath and just press and release the feet, press and release, and the body just starts to follow that flow. It's kind of just like a little kind of thing, forward and back, just giving all your weight to gravity, holding on to nothing, gripping onto nothing. It's gifting yourself this time to let go with a little bit of stimulation as you press into your feet. Right, so make sure you have a go at that first. Might be just your practice. practicing that, practicing letting go, practicing not moving and over-efforting from muscle. It's a really interesting practice, particularly for my advanced yogis. That's your yoga, right? And then you're going to get your roll, and you're going to lie yourself down on your roll, right where the upper borders of your shoulder blades are. So just about a few centimeters lower from the very top of your shoulders, where that meaty part is. That's where you're going to start with your roll first. So it's going to come into there. You're going to nestle over it. Give all your weight to gravity. Find that nice active rest position with your feet. Not too close, not too far away. Arms nice and heavy. Yield over your roll. And by yield, I mean meet your breath, yourself into the roll. And start to find that nice little rocking forward and back. Forward and back. You press into your feet. Your body responds. It might be that it doesn't feel like much. That's okay. Just trust that the subtlety is actually giving you something, because it is. We don't have to have these big, fierce, strong sensations in our body to get all the goodness. And you can start to then lift your hands up. Keep everything really liquidic and loose, so you're not jamming in your elbows or your wrists. There's just this pouring of weight, streaming of weight down into your arms, giving a little bit more into the roll there. Soften the jaw, the face, and you just continue the rocking. Nothing complex at all. What's so great about it, and the simplicity. The simplicity of just giving ourselves space and time. Replenish and nourish. What you can do is wrap your arms over to one side, a little bit more weight on the other side, and just keep going with it. You find something you want to, finding a little bit more release, and just stay there. Gift that place your attention, your breath. And that's enough. Sometimes we come into practices thinking we have to remedy something or fix something or force an outcome. The moment we drop into that place, we actually create more restriction and dis-ease in the body. It all just starts with your attention, with the gift of your awareness and your breath. And then the paradox of that is that through your attention, through your awareness, that which you observe, that which you're paying attention to, will actually start to shift anyway. It'll change, it will shape-shift and transmute and transform. It's simply by being aware. Okay, good. So you got that going on. You're going to now just move the roll a little bit lower, perhaps down to the mid part of your shoulder blades, so not quite down to where your brow line would be. And come back to that nice jiggling. Notice if you're kind of flaring everything open and you're resisting and propping away, melt the front of your ribs down, drop your energy into the skin of your back, and find that rocking. Back and forwards. Don't think too hard about it. Just follow the motivation of the movement. And then you keep going. So it might be that you pause and spend a little bit more there. I just want to show you when we get to right where the arch of your lower back starts. So right down to the base of your thoracic, T12 to L1. So right where that curve starts, you feel the little lift away from the floor, right in the base of your diaphragm there. And spend a bit of time there. Often gets a bit tweaky because it's in that juncture between the thoracic and the lumbar. It can be a bit vulnerable. Really nice release for your diaphragm too, if you tend to shallow breathe and hold a lot of tension up here. But just to give it a little bit more weight, you're going to lift your legs off. Gently draw your knees into your hips, not fiercely. Just allow weight to drop, everything to be floppy. You're just going to hold lightly onto your kneecaps, and then you're going to initiate the jiggling again, this time with the knees moving forward and back. Okay, so rather than the feet, which would be a little bit much, just with your hands, with the support there, knees forward and back. And get a little bit more jiggling going on. And with your knees in, right where that juncture point is, can nicely yield over your roll. And keep going there. And I suggest spending another minute or so here with this one. Like I said, it's quite a vulnerable area, an area that tends to hold a lot. So you want the gift of time and awareness and breath to really unwind and unravel that and offer a clear draining. So again, you might pause, and then I'll show you the last part of it. You're going to reset your feet down. Move your roll all the way down to the top of your pelvic rim. So you'll be able to feel it where that bony bit is. So you've got a little bit of gap where the natural arch is, and then there'll be that flat triangle bone that you can sense right at the top of all of that. Knees in, give a little bit more weight to gravity, and initiate that jiggling. And this one can be a real sensitive one as well. So again, it's another juncture point where the lumbar meets the sacrum. And particularly my mamas, having given birth, it often destabilizes this area, and just by the nature of car seats and lounge seats and desk chairs. Might be a few niggles here, so just notice that, breathe to that without trying to fix or force anything to happen. Allow the movement to guide you. It can be quite meditative, knowing there's nothing you have to do or make happen. You just simply be here. It's almost like a little rocking, a little lullaby for yourself into a place of ease and rest. And it might be that this one's quite sensitive and you don't want to spend too much time here, but you could spend another minute or so. And then the last little part of the equation, you're going to set your feet back down and move your roll down, right down. So we've got your frontal hip points, the bony protuberances there, you'll know them, they stick right out, you can feel into them, right flush down into the back where those are. All the way down is where you want this last little bit. So you got the roll there, ooh, feel it already, jiggle, release on into it, and you don't need your knees hugging in for this one, so reset your feet back to that active rest, not too close, not too far away. So the weight of the femurs down into the hip sockets is actually quite enough. You can play with that. You can lift one off and get a little bit more weight into the other area. And then the other way. And both feet on the floor. Just noticing how much you can give to gravity. Give a little bit more weight. This conscious choice, a permission to relax, to let go. From there, spending a little bit more time with it, you can start to walk your feet out a bit further. And a little bit further. And then perhaps all the way out. Now it's just a little bit of traction with your heels, giving you that rocking. weight down, pulling energy all the way into the skin of your back, into the mat. Any last little bits that you're holding on to, let it go. And you'll just find a nice natural point to stop. And slow it down. And rest into that release. And it's likely you'll feel a little bit of tingling up and down your body. Enjoy a few more rounds of breath. Just congratulating yourself for carving out the space, the time to relax, to replenish. Carving out the time to really prioritize your self-care. The more we prioritize rest and relaxation and self-care, the more we have to give. We build reservoirs of our energy and our awareness to then bring that through into our days. And it's particularly true for those of you that do really active exercise, be it running or swimming or really active, vigorous yoga practice. We have to prioritize the rest as well. We have to prioritize these more restorative practices. Because if it's just really forceful and a lot of it done from muscle, what tends to happen is that science has told us now that there can be an inflammatory response in the bones when we don't rest, when we don't stretch, when we don't restore after the vigorous exercise or the really stressful days, whatever it is. And when we have that inflammatory response in our bones ain't actually as strong as we need them to be to support us and carry us through our lives, particularly into old age. We want strong, steady structures. It all comes through your self-care. So congratulate yourself for that. And this is where I'll leave you. Any questions about this, leave comments at the end of the video. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care of your beautiful self. Namaste.